water with some tea here. So we're going to get started in a minute. Come on in, everyone. Okay. So evil using a certain type of weapon. Y'all can't even talk about it. The energy is so manipulative right now. The way evil is working, it's like a lot of playing games with feelings and emotionally manipulating people. There's a lot of emotional manipulation going on to keep people feeling hopeless, and having people feel like they have no choice but to entertain misery. I heard misery like company, y'all. Look, evil got a weapon and it's trying to make you comfortable with entertaining miserable people. Okay? People who are high in their misery, people who are pretending like they're okay when they're not. People who are expecting a whole lot out of you, but they ain't doing much. Um, yeah. So just be careful. Evil playing on empathy right now. I feel heavy mental manipulation and emotional manipulation to the point where I'm not going to be socializing with people who are so heavily into politics. Like I'm staying away from people that's in the politics for a while because I feel a lot of mental manipulation, people trying to pull people into feeling like it's hopeless in society. You know, there's people trying to make you think you got to do a whole lot or be a whole lot to make it. And that's not true, y'all. That is not true. And it's like, no. Okay, the creator told me the people who are going to be chosen to be successful for the next 5 years are people who can spend the next year putting their spiritual and mental health as a number one priority, not putting nobody or nothing before it. You have to be in that stoic spiritual energy, like through your day for the next year. Not starting next year, but the next 12 months. Or something going to lock up. Like you're going to miss a download or a message or an answer that will make you keep your faith in something. There's something you're not going to finish that's supposed to give you success. Like if you talk to people that are in that hopeless energy, it's going to block you from a download that's supposed to give you a breakthrough. So evil's using a weapon of negative thinking, low vibe thinking about society. Okay. Also, stay away from people that think your outer achievement makes you who you are instead of your inward achievement. I've been getting that people are being very too critical of each other's assets and how they look. So people are like trying to decide your inner worth by how you look. Some of y'all got people that's doing it to you right now. They're never going to tell you that that's why they passive aggressive or go blow hot and cold. Even some of your neighbors, even some of your fans are in that funky energy. Even some of your subs, if you have a YouTube channel, they in that foul energy where they only trying to ride and die for you if you look like you got some sort of blessing coming through. They're judging you by how you look and what you got. It's like high school, you know, people being real fake, coming back to be in your energy just because they think you look like you got it going on, or they trying to just find out what you're doing with yourself so they could do the same. It's a lot of leeching. I literally got the word leeching. I've been hearing the word leeching for the last few days, y'all. Okay. So whatever you plan to do, you need to do it. But some of y'all got somebody that want to leech off your energy to cause delays. Like, I don't know, it could be people that's even on your job or in your business that's withholding communication because they're waiting for you to have some breakthrough, and then they want to come and act like you're like cool. So they think that if they think you're close to the breakthrough, they're going to try to come and act like they was just busy. Meanwhile, they didn't want to help you climb. Okay? Some of y'all even got subs that don't want to help you climb. I'm sensing it even through this channel. Purposely lingering around, thinking I'm not good enough, but can sense that something's coming for me, but want to linger around and wait till that moment come and then act like we cool. Like, it makes me this so disgusted when people email me right when I'm on my breakthroughs and be like, "Oh yeah, I've been watching you for like 10 years." I'd be like, "Nah, boo, you was watching me this whole month. Okay, you wasn't gone. You want me to think you were gone? You were watching me, and now you see I'm on a break of a breakthrough. Now you want to come back and act like you was away, and now that's why you wasn't supporting me." People got so many tricks up their sleeve for coming and going, ghosting and coming back. Y'all, it's toxic, okay? I'm so sick and tired of people playing that, oh, I was caught up in something, I was busy, I was in a dark part of my life, okay, I was going through something dark. It's like, no, go ahead. Because um, if you feel like I'm not worth to be in your life when you're going through something dark, then don't even try to come in my life when I'm going through something light. When I'm being blessed, don't come back now. People act like they're not watching people online. Like, everyone can sense when people from their past is watching them. I know I can. So it's like, especially women, we're intuitive. We can sense when we got spies. So, when people try to act like they wasn't gone, they was just going through stuff. They never left our life. We're like, no, we can sense that you was just watching and waiting for me to strike gold. That's why, y'all, I'm telling y'all, when 2030 come and y'all sitting up there, you know, um, got the things that you really need and a whole change of life, don't be trying to take nobody back. Because people trying to sneak 1 foot back in the door right now. 1 foot in. They don't want to go all the way in because they don't want to have to be accountable for not helping you or not being supportive. So they trying to, like, be very covert in your life. That's I can sense the energy. Okay, winter season always makes people get thirsty and desperate, so they start trying to regroom people who they betrayed just to get comfy cozy. People find it hard to find people to get fuel from because a lot of people are indoors at that time. So the winter season make people spin the block. So just be careful who you let spin the block. I know some of y'all may have somebody spin the block for a business opportunity, but I'm telling you, the person is not going to want to keep it business. If you let anybody spin the block, come back into your life, it should be about business. Tell them right from the door, this is business. Don't loop back. Don't loop back. And I don't like that. I feel like there's energy that surrounding us, divine ones that want us to break our neck. Like, I keep hearing that song, never enough, never, never. So just be careful who you take back because you're not enough for them. You're not. I don't know if it's an ex-boyfriend for some of y'all or a job or a business, but nope, nope. They only want your presence to use you. I'm sensing this very strongly, y'all. Some of y'all, it's an ex, or it's a uh company I keep getting like possibly a resource. It just wants to use you and get validation for its power. That's all. It's looking to validate its own power level compared to yours. So be careful who you let back. Like if you've been quietly quitting something, you probably should keep quietly quitting it. You probably shouldn't change your mind at this point. If you got something big, or if the creator been telling you that blessings is coming or something like that, don't talk about it. Don't even really mention it to no one. Just go on and do what you was going to do, and let the chips fall where they may. Okay. Confirmation. I just saw a quote that says you have to do before you have. Yep. I don't know what it is, but we're this new way of law of attraction got everybody like, oh, you know, speak it, speak it, speak it. No, y'all, don't even speak it. Let your heart be the whisper of the thing. Let it be the whisper inside your heart. Force people to have to go to those terrors to find out. Y'all, and what God told me about terrorists is when people do terrorists on you, they're actually spiritually raping you. When they do terrorists on you without permission, it's no different than sexual activity. I can explain it, but I'll explain it in a workshop. So yeah, and I've been getting too. There's some people when they're jealous of your sexual energy, they'll try to argue with you and drain you out because they think your sexual energy is boosting your law of attraction. So be careful who you're arguing with as well. Um, when you go to tarot card readers, when you're about to have a breakthrough, a lot of them are doing on readings for drama. They want to find out what drama's in your life. And if you're going through drama when you're having breakthroughs, about to have a breakthrough, you need your energy for the breakthrough. So don't be so quick to go let somebody do a massive reading on you all because it's Scorpio season and Capricorn and money and all that. Don't be so quick to be like, oh, I need to find out about my money. It's winter. Y'all, you better off doing it for yourself. Like straight up. If you can't resist the temptation to find out a little bit about if things are going to work out for you, then you're better off doing it yourself right now. For real. The energy is getting real ruthless. Okay? I literally got the word war, and I was told to watch a war movie, and then when I got on YouTube, there was a video on there talking about Hunger Games. I said confirmation. So, um, you know, you might be in a battle for this abundance and your blessing and your money. So we know in the times of war, when you're in a battle, you try not to give up your position, right? You try to remain quiet so that the enemy don't know your plans. You also take care of those who take care of you. You don't take care of people that's just trying to rob you and rip you off and do sneak attacks. In times of war, you are also a minimalist. You're stoic. I got the book, The War of Art, came into my mind. Stephen Pressfield book, War of Art, and his book, his other book that is Turning Pro. And there's a part where he talks about being a military man. And that's what God wants us to be. God wants us to be in military energy for the next year. I'm telling you no lie. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you already got the resources to do it, don't buy no more. The military man can film an entire movie using his cell phone. He don't need a fancy camera. A military man could just have soup for a couple days, or make a big pot of chicken soup and eat that for a few days. I'm telling y'all that military energy is going to boost your success energy. It's going to work out in your favor. It's also going to have you to have more peace and quiet and more time to be spiritual and to do your purpose. Like, we think they're stepping out of military energy, that we're getting ahead, but we're actually getting behind. Unless you got people that can do all the work that you need done when you're not in military energy, then it's actually working against you. Celebrities got people to cook all their fancy meals, expensive meals with all those ingredients, and to do their enormous amount of fancy clothes laundry and all of that, and clean every single room in their house every single day. But the military man can deal with less. I love that book. I love that book, Turning Pro, because it talks about how the military man is taught to be extremely tolerant, to work with what they got, to be grateful of what they got, to just focus on the mission. And if you can be in that energy for the next year, you're going to find it much easier to do your mission. Like, I think all divine ones need to be in Charles Bukowski's energy, where it's like duffel bag life for the next year. Like, get one chest. We cleaned our room upstairs, and there's a chest that's open. I'm gonna open that chest up today, and only how much clothes can fit in that chest. That's it. Whatever don't fit in that chest does not get worn for the next year, unless I get rid of something in the chest, and then I'll put something new in there. But I find that living out of a chest like a military man do, that really just allows you to be like, you'll be automatically be mindful. Like, people are saying, oh, we're in Hunger Games, but we're not in Hunger Games as far like we can't survive. We're in Hunger Games where people want what you got. That's why, because there's people who haven't done the work. That's why we in Hunger Games. There's people who don't want to be a military man, so they're trying to rip off people who are succeeding, but as a military man. Hi, everybody. Like, I've been sensing like people just keep on trying to wait for me to get on video to attack me. I noticed that when I'm not on video, there's not that many people in here. There's not a lot of views, and that's because people are just like abusing technology right now. You know, they're in that low spirited. A lot of people get so bitter when it gets close to Thanksgiving and Christmas. These people that will always want to speak against this Christmas and, you know, and Hanukkah. These people who don't got nobody, who know they're toxic, who know that they don't really give much to society. They sitting around having something to say about Christmas. Yet Christmas provides people with the things they need. Christmas gave me an icebox when I didn't have one. Christmas gave me a dining room table when I didn't have one. Christmas gave me a toaster oven when I didn't have one. It gave me booties and hat and scarf and gloves when I didn't have one. So be careful of who you following out here when they tell you don't believe in Hanukkah, don't believe in Christmas. If you know that it's important for your survival, if you know that it fulfills your needs, then there's no problem. There's no problem with being about those holidays. And I find that people who don't do Hanukkah and Christmas, why don't they just go hang out with people who don't? Why they coming on our channels and coming to us and always want to tell us I don't do Hanukkah and Christmas when no one asked? Like, I don't understand why non-believers or non-supporters won't just let people be happy with their life. Like, it's just wild that people feel the need to tell someone they don't believe in something soon as they hear someone else's belief. If someone says they're Muslim around me, I'm not going to say, well, I'm not Muslim and I don't believe in Muslim. I'm going to be happy that they found something that feels is spiritually healthy for them. Even though I know I'm not Muslim, I don't have nothing to say. And this is a conversation that needs to be said. It is rampant in the Black community. Want to attack people, want to wait for other Black creators to put up a Christmas tree in their comments to say Christmas and say something. But what gets me is Jewish people can do Hanukkah in peace and we don't say nothing. So before the holidays come, Black folks, if you don't do Thanksgiving if you don't do Christmas and you don't do Hanukkah, shut your mouth. Because what you're not saying to black people, you should not be saying what you got to say to us, to each other. You better be saying that to the Jewish people about Hanukkah. This is like I'm feeling the stank energy. Like I'm feeling the stank energy. When I went into the live video 2 days ago, someone immediately said, "Oh, I don't do gifts on Christmas." So what? No one asked you. Like no one asked you. Okay? If someone say that they sleeping with somebody not married, I don't say I'm not doing fornication because I don't do fornication. My fornicating days is over. I wasn't all in on it anyway when I did do it. It was just a little curiosity. I didn't go buck wild like other people did, I know. But if somebody want to fornicate, then they're going to fornicate. I'm not going to say, well, I don't believe in sex outside of marriage, all because somebody said they believe in sex outside of marriage. It's like literally ridiculous. So I'm asking everyone while I'm remembering this to let people enjoy their Thanksgiving in peace. You don't do Thanksgiving, you don't do Turkey Day, fine. Fine. Let everybody else enjoy it. Just stay miserable and alone in your home, complaining that the reasons why you don't do it, and leave us alone. Y'all, I'm serious. Boundaries. I stay hearing African Americans, the so-called divine ones, say they don't respect my boundaries. But I'm like, you're not respecting my boundaries when I'm happy about my spiritual beliefs. You got to say you don't believe in it. That's not respecting my boundaries because you weren't asked. All you were supposed to ask is, did I have a good time? Did you get the things that you need? Was you well fed? Was the food good? That's what you should be asking. That's what you should be asking. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to change your belief to be happy that I'm happy with my belief. It's not going to do nothing to your belief. Your belief is still going to be there when you walk away. Y'all, this is the real. 2 days ago, somebody on this channel said, I don't do gifts because gifts put witchcraft. People put witchcraft on gifts. Everybody do not put witchcrafts on gifts. See, that's why you're going to stay in need. That's why you want to stay not having the things that you want, having to break your back. That's why gifts is not going to come to your home when you want them. You're going to still be a work slave. And I tell people that if you say everybody curse gifts, that's why you don't do holidays and birthdays, then do not complain about society not caring about you. You don't care about society. You're talking negative about anybody that gives you a gift. You're calling everybody that will give you a gift a witch. That sounds like you're the witch. That's all I'm saying. And the people say, oh, I'll just give to, and then this person in the live video going to say, oh, I'll just give the homeless people. Oh, please, that's easy to give the homeless people. Anybody can do that. Anybody can do that. You don't need religion or anything to do that. Anybody, a little kid can do that. But giving to people that you know, giving to people who is in your family or next door, just giving to give. Just giving to give. Why does it got to be to somebody you don't know? It sounds like narcissism. I can give to just give. I don't need to protect some sort of ego of mine by giving it always to a charity group or homeless people. I think when people are just stuck in that energy, is that they are secretly competing with people that they know. They're competing with their neighbors and they're competing with their family members, and they know it. Because if it was just the art of giving, then what? Just give. Then just give. Unless somebody really abused you, what is the problem with giving to somebody in your family who is unable to give to you? No one has to give to me and my family for me to give to them. I can give and be like, here you go. I brought some food over, whatever. They don't have to give to me. All they got to do is not abuse me. If they didn't abuse me, they can still get from me. Giving is not even about you getting from the person. Giving is about the fact that you know that we're all energetically connected, and you are not proving yourself worthy to be a to be on this earth if you're not a giver. For real, you're not, because the Creator is a giver. But if you want to be picking and choosing, oh, because this homeless man is well worse than me, he's in going through way worse than me, so I'll give to him. Sounds like you want like the ultimate dopamine hit, and you want to make sure that you're not losing some competition, or that you're not you're not facing necessarily always facing the person that you gave to. Narcissists love to give to charities. They love to give to younger people, kids, and elderly people in a nursing home, and they love to just give to people who's disabled. But people who are like working and doing for them, they like, oh, I don't know if I want to give to you, and it's like, wow, I gotta be disabled, old, young, um, your mama, whether I'm toxic or not, for you to give to me. People be having narcissism and don't even know that they have a narcissism. If it's a quick boo quo, if it's a quick boo quo where you're like, I know this person gonna give to me, that's why I give to them. Then you didn't give. You're just about getting. And that's it. When I brought all them groceries over to my neighbor's house, I didn't even know the woman. Me and her never kicked it. I didn't have her phone number yet. We wasn't cool. We spoke like one time. That was it. That was it. That was it. And I my intuition told me this woman is in need. So I brought over some groceries. I never even saw the woman's house to even know if she was in need. I went by intuition. So I gave her a bunch of groceries, and little did I know her cell phone was cut off. And this was during the shutdown. So I was really sacrificing to be giving somebody a bunch of food during the shutdown. So I ended up finding out that her cell phone got cut off. Her son didn't loan her the money for her cell phone. She was trying to cover all the bills after her brother dropped dead in the kitchen in her house. So she got left with all the bills by herself. She was cheated out of her inheritance, her mother's will. See what I'm saying? My intuition told me this woman has suffered tremendously. She didn't even have to say it. She was smiling in my face. She was saying she was a Christian, whatever. I didn't hate on her or nothing. I said, I'm happy you found a religion. We talked one time, but my intuition told me pain. I felt pain in this woman. And little did I know she was in there suffering. And I came right in time because she ended up getting COVID and she couldn't leave her house. And see, I had gave her that food, bananas, apples, and all that food right in time. See? Right in time. And she was dealing with extreme fatigue and exhaustion, and I guess she didn't know that she had COVID, and that could have been the reason. But and then I found out like something happened with her pipe, so she wasn't getting any running water during COVID. I said, this is ridiculous. Somebody I know knew her and told me. Little did I know that she's actually related to somebody in my family. See what I'm saying? So you never know who you're helping. You never know who is married into with somebody married in your family or whatever. But I just went on that just to give. So after that, I dropped off some more groceries from a food bank that I got and all of that. And then she ended up coming like a year later and dropping off a bunch of food. And she was like, you are a godsend. You just don't know how much you helped me or whatever. And I was like, oh, wow. And when she dropped off all the food, my mom had died. I was like, I'm going through a lot. My mom died. She said, yeah, I heard. I was just, dropped off some food, just asking if you okay. And little did I know that the same experience she had when her mom died, I did too. See, the Creator works with synchronicities. The people that you feel intuitively to give to, even if you don't know them, sometimes they are a synchronicity for you. And that memory is set up to remind you of how you're needed in society. When you give without expecting to receive, the memory becomes a gold mine, an important memory. Okay? And that memory is to be there available every time you forget that you're not important in society. That memory reminds you that you are. And that acts as motivation for you to get up every day and do something. Do something for the world. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Hi, Antonella. Yeah, exactly, Antonella. I mean, I feel like this. When I give Antonella, somebody, I'm going to get on video in a minute, y'all. I'm supposed to get my hair done. I'm supposed to, my daughter's supposed to come to help me do my hair. But I'll get on in a minute. I'm going to have to put a scarf on. Y'all know how I feel about exposing roots now. I'll talk about that in another video. Every time I have my afro out, somebody does spell work on me. So I would have to put a scarf on. But as I was saying, Antonella, people would need to realize that when people give, if you can't get out of their business, you don't need to be giving. Like, somebody's business is not my business. Unless we are sharing what they got, it's none of my business. So I should be giving as if I don't know their business. But people be so much in other people's business, and that's why it's hard for them to give. The jealous spirit creeps in. Like, when you be like, oh, I see you got a new car, or I see that you're pretty, you got these with your looks, and I don't, you're skinny and I'm fat. When you all up in people's business like that, that literally keeps you from being a giver. The jealous spirit will say, don't give, hoard, hide this, keep this to yourself. And that's why it's like, first of all, jealousy is the most ridiculous thing. Because there's always something you got that they don't got, and there's always something that they got you don't got. So it's just like ridiculous. You both can just be constantly jealous of each other. It could just be an endless battle that never ends. So it just makes no sense. When I used to feel jealous of women who was fair skinned, who would get the guys first or had light eyes, I started to notice that I could no longer see what I had that they didn't have. I could no longer see me. See, jealousy leads you to self-blindness. It literally will make you see yourself and your life in a way that's not true. I mean, it's that jealousy is literally witchcraft put upon yourself. And it wasn't until my mom started saying to me, she would say, daughter, you got beautiful ebony features. Look at your slanted eyes and your big brown eyes. And like, after a while, I started to see, okay? And I started to, that's when I kind of sensed that spell work was happening. I didn't know it was called spell work, but I knew that I had put a spell upon myself somehow. Now, whether the system, the commercials, the beauty magazines influenced this spell work on me, but I knew that somehow I wasn't seeing me. This is no lie, y'all. It wasn't until 19 years old that I even saw myself. I know y'all like, nah, this is, nah, I don't believe that. I was 19 years old. I was up in high school when I could finally see myself as a beautiful woman. I couldn't even see anything that was good about me. I had literally just given up. I had given up entirely. Like, I swear to goodness, I don't know what that spell work was, but I hope it never get on me again. To be that blind to your own worth, that no matter what people say, you can't see it. It wasn't until I removed myself from where the spell work occurred. I left that entire community. And I hung around people that look like me, that would celebrate that they could see themselves. They look like me and they could see themselves. So I was starting to see myself. This is why it is important to live a synchronized life in many ways. It is for protection of your own inner sight of yourself. It's not you saying I'm segregating or I'm playing favorites. It is for protection from the jealous spirit of witchcraft that makes you blind to your own self. Okay. Now you can sit there and be like, yeah, I'm gonna see myself, see myself, see myself, see myself. But if everybody around you is catering to the witchcraft, then you're one person fighting against a coven. So you're better off having a part of your life that is a synchronicity of you to protect the spiritual work that you have done on yourself and the clarity that you see of thyself. But people don't do that, and this is why they can't give. And this is why when they show up to people that's not like them or don't look like them, they don't want to give. They're not having a synchronized part of their life that will fuel their clear insight of themselves, that would protect it. They're saying I'm gonna just be alone and alone. And then when they go around people that's not like them, then I don't know why I'm feeling jealous. Of course, the jealous spirit is getting you at that point. Hi, everybody. Yeah, Antonella, I cannot even show anybody pictures of me in middle school or high school all the way up to 11th grade because you wouldn't even know it was me. If you looked at the picture, you would like, I noticed that I would be able to get through the spell work a bit anytime I left that community. I felt like I was being gaslighted. I didn't realize till 19 years old that I was gaslighted about my self-worth. I didn't even know what gaslighting was back then. I just knew like some sort of trickery was done on me to make me see me differently. But as I said, um, and sometimes it's how people treat you. I'm gonna do a whole video series on this. Sometimes people treat you in a way that makes you see yourself differently. It's not necessarily that they're insulting you or disrespecting you. They're energetically treating you in a way that it's not your energy, but they're like making you think it should be your energy. That's the energy you should be in. And so you switch to that energy, not knowing that at that point you're hiding yourself from yourself. You're hiding you from you. This is a very deep conversation because it happened to me. Someone, okay, it started with some people in my family. Then it kind of like spread, to like cousins. And then it kind of like became like this thing in the community where this is the energy she's supposed to have. And the energy changed my identity image of myself. I could no longer see it. Like I said, it wasn't until I got away from that type of energy manipulation and I became friends with females that looked like me. I say females because they wasn't women at the time. We were still, minors technically. We were still in high school. But, young ladies, I started gravitating towards them. And then the energy was different towards me. I was being treated like who I am. And then I started to say, okay, this doesn't make sense. So why is this different? And then I don't know, just something happened there. Even when friends when I was in middle school would try to encourage me to dress up, I still couldn't see myself. Like one of my friends would always be like, let me do your hair, let me do this. My one friend, Mika, she would always like act like my big sister and try to like get me to look, girly, but I was like, I just don't see it though. Like I could not see it, but I didn't realize I had energy manipulation on me. It wasn't until um up in senior year, and um I just said one day I just said, okay, let me hang out with people who look like me. So I instead of sitting alone, I started actually sitting with the girls at the table. And the energy was different. Like I wasn't being treated like this is how you're supposed to look and this is who you are. Nobody was like telling me the value of my looks. Like for the first time, I wasn't being put in the corner as if my looks and my value means nothing compared to everyone around me. For the first time, I wasn't put in the corner because I look very, very different from every woman in my family. There's only two people that I look like. My mom, I look a little like my mom and my oldest sister. But my entire life, there's really nobody in my family, cousins, like, I don't really look like. So, it was kind of, I used to actually think I was adopted. I used to be like, somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. But that's how blind I was. I literally thought my mother was keeping a secret that I had a different dad and that she was lying and that this man was not my dad. That's how blind I was, y'all. It could go that deep, but like I said, once I got up in senior year and like I said, a couple girls I was with, they wanted to go shopping. We would go shopping. And then, it just started to change. But then I noticed the friends that I had before, they didn't want to be my friends no more. I was being gaslighted to think that I thought I was all that suddenly. But you see what I'm saying? Just another tactic to gaslight me. So yeah. And but you would not believe how identity can shift your entire life. Like how you see yourself, how you want to see yourself inside. Okay, it ain't about how anybody else. It doesn't matter what society think. Once you gain control of how you want to see yourself, then you actually gain control of this decisions you're going to make because identity helps decide what choices you make in every area of life. Who you're going to date, where you're going to wear, where you're going to live, what you're going to eat. It's all interconnected. And at some point, you have to decide and just stick with something. Just stick with it. If you switch again, then you can get like body image dysmorphia, where you can't see yourself. You can't really see what's working for you. And then you get into wasteful energy, over shopping, overspending, wasting time on time bandits who don't really care about you. You start to lower your standards and all type of stuff. So I think that staying consistent with identity choices is like critical. No matter what anybody say, like instead of changing your identity, change your friends, like change your family, change your job. I wonder how we all got to, so many of us got to the point where it's like every time we go through stuff and someone doesn't like us and someone's not giving us attention, oh, we got to change ourselves. No, change the connection. Hi, everybody. Yeah. I guess they call it now body dysmorphia, but I had some other a very aggressive version of it. Like you could have told me all day, like you got pretty ass, Miss V, slanted ass. I would have been like, I just couldn't see it. As a matter of fact, when people would crack jokes, people would say, "I think I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese." People used to say that to me, right? I used to be like, I don't know what they're talking about because I don't have slanted eyes. I literally could not see the slant in my eyes. I know that's like crazy. People are like, how did you look in the Then you look in the mirror? Body dysmorphia, y'all. I could not see that I was I couldn't even see I was developed. You know, when in high school, when guys would be, a guy would say, oh, she got breasts, I'd be like, I don't have breasts. And I was sitting there with a size C breast cup. But in my mind, what I saw a breastless woman. This is, I, if you told me I was pretty in middle school, I would be like, nah. If you told me I was pretty in 10th, 11th grade, I can remember so many times like sitting in classrooms and it would be like cute guys sitting next to me. And I would be like, oh, I wish I was one of those girls that they would talk to. Like, I would be like, oh, I guess I'll never be one of those girls that they walk up to and talk to or whatever. But that's just how much I didn't see myself. But I didn't realize that because I could not see myself, they could not see me. I know that's deep. You can't expect people to see your value when you don't see it. You're blinding everybody else. And then, you know, my breakthrough with seeing um see like breakthrough through dysmorphia, and my main moment was when I saw a beaded dress. Okay, I wasn't going to go to my prom, but then my mom talked me into it. And right when I was like, oh, no, mom, I'm not going. And I walked out the store, right? And I was like, what is the point? Like, I look like a guy. I look like a man. Like, people treat me like I'm a male. What is the point? I know I'm not a male, but everybody keeps treating me like I want. So I'm just going to go ahead and not go. That's what I said. I'm not going to go to the prom. Because all the girls around me, they had little prissy Nicki Minaj voices. I had a deep voice. My voice was even deeper when I was younger. When I went through puberty, my voice got less deeper, but it was much deeper in high school. Like Anita Baker deep. So that was another prop. That was another issue. So I walked past the store as we was leaving the mall, and I saw this beaded dress. And you could say that I somehow saw my future. I caught a glimpse of me in the dress. It was like somehow God showed me a future. Um, and I didn't know till years later that what I was actually seeing and what I actually sensed was that it would end up being my wedding dress. I didn't know at the time, but I just sensed that I sensed that I knew that dress. I sensed it so strongly. I said, Mom, I gotta have that dress no matter what. She was like, it's $400. I was like, and she kind of looked at me because I would never been caught dead wearing anything like that. A beaded 1920s hand beaded dress that, you know, that's not even for sale. It's this on a mannequin. Um, my mother talked the lady into selling it to her. Of course, the lady sold it for as much as she can get out of my mom, like $400. But that was the changeover in which I broke the body dysmorphia, whatever, identity. And then next thing I know, any jealousy that I felt, like I didn't feel it anymore. It was like suddenly, I came back to school and was like, everything was right as it should be. But then after that, all kind of guys wanted to talk to me then. See what I'm saying? And I can remember I started breaking the rules. Like, I was like, oh, these people want to try to treat me like I'm the male in the group. Some of these females be doing this. You know, the ones that look more European or light skinned, they want to treat me like that. Fine, I got something for them. So I started breaking the rules with the dress code. I started coming to school with like my cleavage showing, you know, like really low cut shirts and you know, bustiers on and stuff. And my mom was like, you're getting sent home. Where are you getting these bustiers from? You're getting sent home. And I just had a smile on my face. And I can remember my mother never, ever grounding me for being sent home for that. But I think she knew that I was experimenting with breaking whatever brainwashing that was on me. So she kind of said she knew it would work against her if she got in the way. So she never really punished me about it. She said just don't make a habit of it. But she never really like grounded me over it. And and then I noticed like all the light skinned girls, all the girls that was like I said, because we were in the 90s at that time, brown skinned sisters with deep voices, with big noses and, big heads. We weren't really treated all that good back then. And especially if you had a name that, you know, that said you were a black woman, you weren't really treated that good back then. So I can remember when I started breaking the rules on purpose, going to school with extremely sexy stuff on. It kind of like got under the skin of some of the light skinned girls and the white girls, and they were like, "She's wearing that." They were trying to snitch on me. So that kind of told me that they're so much up in my energy. Like, why are they worried about what I'm wearing? Why don't they worry about what they're wearing? This was up in high school. So I told the one light skinned girl, I said, "Why are you worried about what I'm wearing? You wear whatever sexy thing you want to wear. Why would you go and make it obvious to the teacher what I'm wearing?" So she came rushing at me, swinging at me. But this is what I mean by this. A lot of things that go on in this world is set up to keep you following the rules, and so that your energy can be controlled and the way you see yourself. So I guess she thought if she attacked me that maybe I would not dress sexy anymore. I kept dressing sexy. And I became a threat. I started to become a threat. But I noticed that a lot of the light skinned girls and even some of the white girls, all of a sudden they wanted to be cool with me. It was like, "Oh, what's up, Vic? Hey, what you doing?" And they even started saying, like, there's a modeling competition on the weekend. You might want to join it. I'm like, now I'm being invited to try out to be a model in a fashion show. But it's about you teach people how to treat you, because if you don't, they're going to teach you how to treat you. Like, they're going to take over. There's a famous quote that say, "You control yourself or someone else will." So if you don't teach people what you about with yourself, they're going to use whatever programming that would protect their own self-esteem. Most people will program you in a way that still protects their own self-esteem. No consideration of how it's making you feel about yourself. Hi, everybody. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I literally was in a trance when I saw that dress. And the only other time that I experienced that after that was when I saw my husband. And little did I know that it was the same frequency of that dress. And then what's funny about that dress is that I kept it for years, and then for some years, and then when I finally got married, the dress was like it never been touched. It was like mint condition. You would have thought that it didn't age at all. It looked like I never even wore it to the prom. And it had a beautiful jacket with these pearl beads on it. And then at the end of senior year, I came back when the last few weeks of school. I was walking in school and people were like, "Oh, you did amazing, girl. You had it going on." And I'm like, "Why is all these people saying this, right?" So, next thing I know, somebody said, "Did you see the paper?" My friend said, "You see the paper?" I said, "No." They said, "Go look at the paper." And there I was on the front cover of the school paper. It said my name and another girl. It said dancing, not doing a line dance at the prom. And it's literally a close up of me. Like, you can see my face and everything. It's just me and the other girl. But what's funny about the other girl is that she was one of the girls that really didn't speak to me. Like, all the way up until senior year, all the way up until the prom, and then I mean, until a couple weeks before the prom, and then suddenly she's speaking to me, and she like got in the line to dance beside me. But she was considered one of the more beautiful, eloquent looking brown skinned sisters. So she had dudes into her, but it like things didn't happen for me till like a couple months before the prom. But you see how something shifted where suddenly she in my energy. See what I'm saying? So you do attract who you are and what you put out. So if you don't if you're saying you want people to find you sexy, you want people to find you attractive, you want people to see your beauty, and you're not doing that, you can't really blame anybody else. And the people that do see your beauty already see it. They're not going to be compelled to own up to that until you put it more in their face. So you got a group of people that already see it. Already see it. If you just showed up in your robe, they see it. If you just they see your power, they feel your power. Some people are not intuitive, they know. But until you put it in their face enough where they can't hide it anymore, they're never going to say they do. Then you got another group of people that just can't see it at all because they're exposed to something that's saying that you can't compete. They're exposed to the opposite so much, so they can't see it. So until you put it more in their face, the scales is not even. They're not going to see you and see the other people too. So really, it's all on you. It's all on you. What you choose. You choose for people to recognize in you. And I'm gonna tell y'all something I learned. Until you are done in your metamorphosis, butterfly energy every day, nobody should be seeing you. This is the realest talk. Like no one, not even your mom. I know that's wild. Like, what do you mean I can't see my mom and I'm not in full metamorphosis change? Because you're teaching people how to treat you. Okay, just because that's your mom don't mean they always gonna, hold you of the greatest value like somebody else who's always showing up like they value themselves. Sometimes people will slip off and slide off and not hold you in great value. So to protect yourself from that happening, you really should not even be out in this world or even on video until you are done with yourself for the day. Like I don't understand. When I slipped out of that energy, then the frequency changed. My law of attraction changed. Once you get in the frequency that's working for you, which is also a part of your image, the secret is to keep it at that point. And it's to always keep it around people. If once you keep it around people, then it's more likely that if those people are in favor or chosen for your whatever you're manifesting, they will have an awakening moment and they will realize that they are, and they will serve you. They will serve you without you even asking to be served, simply because they have been chosen to serve your frequency. But if you keep changing parts of your frequency because you're changing your inward feelings about yourself, which is changing your outward image, and you keep changing that, then they might be like saying, "Oh, I don't know if I should do you," or they might be not sure about whether they're supposed to be in your life, or they're not triggered to actually take action and serve you, even if they feel like they're supposed to. Like when you operate on the inward feeling care, and that's what you celebrate, the true authentic and keeping it real. What you don't like you looking like, keep it real. I don't like myself looking like this. I don't owe nobody explanation. Keep it real. Don't compromise. Don't try to please people with settling for an inward feeling you don't want. Once you get that the inward feeling that you want, it's going to compel you to take certain action that will nourish it. And then when you take those actions, they become viewable. And then they attract whatever frequency that they are on and whatever abundance that comes with that frequency. So it's not about, like, when people talk about abundance, it's not about the abundance that you want. It's not about the manifestation that you want on the outside. It's about the manifestation of the feeling of thyself on the inside. That's where it has to start. Because you want to feel like that even if the manifestation expires. You want to still have that emotional fulfillment that's in you about yourself, even when all manifestations are gone and buried. Because then you're still open to receive replacements of those manifestations. Hi, everybody. But this would be me talking to a wall if you have what I had, like a very severe case of body dysmorphia, where I just could not see any true shape of me, or I couldn't even see my weight. So if this doesn't speak to you, you may want to consider that you have that. If you keep changing yourself, if you're always changing yourself, you may have the body dysmorphia image that I had. And we're not talking about like bodybuilder, fat body dysmorphia. We're talking about literally unable to see any value in yourself. Like, there's always something negative about yourself. Like, oh, my eyes aren't light enough. My eyes aren't slant enough. My voice is not thin enough. My lean enough, or my body. That's all body dysmorphia. I don't know, like, why people don't ever talk about that part. They're always talking about the skinny and obese body dysmorphia. But what about the imagery dysmorphia? It's like people say that don't exist. And sometimes people have it right in your face. We have it right in other people's face. I don't anymore. But there's people who have it right in people's face and don't see it. So I think that's one of the biggest destroyers of people's life, and that's why people have a hard time being stoic. Because if you already can't see the specialness of you, then no clothes, nothing you own is going to be able to finish the emotional fulfillment in you. That's asking a lot from your environment. That's asking too much from what you got, what you own. So the dysmorphia of how you see yourself versus everyone in society, that has to be fixed, and that can only be fixed spiritually. Like, that has to be something that you fix also by being more exposed to thyself. This is why in some indigenous tribes, they don't really want people outside of their tribe hanging around a lot. Even the Amish people, okay? Because they know that any type of obvious privileges that the opposite person may have may start to create dysmorphia in their tribal people. And they might not see that they're privileged as indigenous as well. So it just becomes like a visual sickness poison in their tribe. So this is why it's important to make sure you're exposed to thyself enough. It's not about like, oh, I'm trying to get self-worship or try to love myself more than everybody else love themselves. It's so you can protect the love that you have for yourself. And it was really working back in the 70s, you know, in the African American community. Not too many people was dealing with body dysmorphia because they had Ebony magazine sitting on their table, Jet magazine sitting on their table. You know, they were watching black films with, Pam Grier and I think Dolomite. I think he was a comedian, Dolomite, and a couple other, Eddie Murphy, whatever. They were watching all that type of stuff. So it was like they were kind of like um, able to keep seeing herself. And the art they were doing, they were staying around their own artistic group as well. I even find I start to get literature dysmorphia when I hang out with writers who don't write what I write. It starts to like make me be like, wait a minute, I'm having trouble with connecting with the poetism and what I'm the genre that I'm in. I start struggling with that. And it's like, okay, see, I'm being blinded by my own genre. So I think that just maybe something energetically happens as well. That's like metaphysical that we can't quite avoid when we're too exposed to the opposite for no darn reason. I think that being exposed to the opposite is for barter and like trading, like the indigenous people do when they were talking to Christopher Columbus and his people. It was for trading, or it was for joining families in marriage. There was, dowry being exchanged even through marriage. But it wasn't like, oh, I'm just like hanging out with you to hang out with you and see all your privileges. It wasn't for that. Like, it's like now, it's like I want to be around what's me. And if I be around with this not that does not celebrate me even energetically, then it's for business reasons. That's how I feel it. And I'm not talking about like skin color. I'm talking about like, let's keep it real. I'm talking about my genetics as well. Okay? Because your genetics is still abundance. And I don't want to forget that. I don't want to be blinded to it. I had years of dysmorphia with that. So for me, that's like, okay, for example, if somebody quit drinking alcohol, you're not going to keep taking the ex-alcoholic to a bar. So like once you get over any type of dysmorphia, it's like, okay, I got to stay away from what caused dysmorphia. So it's not me like saying, oh, I think the opposite is just bad. That it's just bad energy. I'm not saying that. It's not. But it's not healthy for the growth that I have worked so hard on. And don't be ashamed to feel the same way. I don't want to be around shopaholics. I work too hard to get out of that energy. I don't want to be around people that's into picking up guys in bars and casual sex or hooking up for some crab legs. I don't want to be around that because I know that I don't want that energy. I know that according to my destiny, that would be like a curse upon me. My destiny says no. Health risk would happen to me. So I can't be around that. It's not that, I'm hating it. It's just not good for me. Now, of course, when it comes to things that actually provide for me, that I see is also providing in a healthy way for other people, then I have no problem with being around it. I know that Turkey Day, Thanksgiving dinner is providing for people. You can literally get a free Thanksgiving dinner and eat for 3-4 days for free. In every country in the world, in every state in the country of America, there is a free program to get free turkey dinner delivered in a box right to your door. That's saving people like $200 in groceries. So what I was saying about that is, why don't people just be happy? Like, oh, I'm so happy that you're saving $200 in groceries through Turkey Day, through having a free Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, I'm so happy that somebody on Christmas bought you and your baby new beds as a Christmas gift. I'm happy that you have what you need. I don't know where it came from that people think that Christmas, there's a group of people that think Christmas is just all about product collecting and wasting money. Not every family does that. Like, my family, we mostly give each other things that we each need. It's need stuff, like creative stuff, courses, gift cards for groceries, clothing that we need, like jammies, socks, underwear, things that we know that we're going to use and that we need. So I don't see the problem with Christmas. Now, everybody that do Christmas ain't saying they doing Christmas because they doing it for Jesus. I don't know where that came from, where that got tied into it. Like, some people do Christmas for Jesus, that's their belief. But not everybody do Christmas for Jesus. I just wish people would just be happy that everybody getting what they need. Like, you know, like, and then for some reason some people feel like there's them saying they don't believe it's like a one up. Like, yeah. And it's like they're saying they don't believe because they know that specific belief is being trashed. I bet you any money, if that belief was like the most of the population in the world and it was being like praised or whatever more, they wouldn't be saying that. Like, you really do got to be careful what trends you go with, because it could still be like you're trying to be a part of some popular group rather than looking at, is it really hurting my growth? Like, just because this group is popular doesn't mean it's good for my growth. Maybe I'm deceiving myself thinking it's good for my growth. I'm trying to understand, like, how can a non-Christmas group be more beneficial to you in this economy with inflation, where you're paying all that money for just eggs and breakfast. Breakfast is literally the price of breakfast and lunch. Just to eat breakfast now, you got to spend the same amount of money you would spend for breakfast and lunch 10 years ago. Now, with those prices, no one should be complaining about getting gifts on Christmas. Like, for real. Like, the people that succeed, they're willing to tolerate and make smart choices. They're willing to do what they got to do to take care of their family and to take care of themselves. Like, I personally feel if someone doesn't do Christmas, I really don't want to hear them complain about money and struggling. Why are you complaining about struggling? And then I find that the people who do complain about Christmas and Hanukkah, it's because they feel like they got it made. They got somebody they living off. They got a disability check coming through. They happen to have a $200,000 a year job. So their snobbery is like, oh, I don't need Christmas, so I'm good. I don't do Christmas, I'm good. But they don't understand that there is a saying that is true. What Brian Tracy said, you're either going through a crisis, coming out of a crisis, or you're on your way to be in a crisis. You can be up this year and down next year. I feel like this: if you're not going to do Christmas, don't turn around and do Christmas 10 years from now because you lost your job and you're broke and you don't have much money, and now you want to go to a Christmas organization to get free Christmas stuff. No, stand on your belief. People keep changing beliefs to cater to their needs. Stand on it. Stand on it till you die. If you're so against Christmas and Hanukkah, if you're so against Turkey Day, don't sit up there and run to somebody's Thanksgiving dinner all because you got laid off. Like, I find that people be switching up like that. No. And here's my thing: if somebody don't do Christmas and Hanukkah, then don't accept no gifts at all. But people still do. They still go. They go to the Christmas party and be like, I don't do Christmas, but I'm coming. Okay, why are you there? Why are you there? You're there to eat? Don't eat Christmas dinner. Like you're still going to have a plate. No, buy your own dinner. I'm just saying what it is. Why can't you call it another day? Why can't you call it a day you want to call it? Why don't you call it gift giving and watercolor day? We all do watercolor art today and give each other a gift that we all need. Like it's only Christmas because you're calling it Christmas. You can still do everything that everybody else do on Christmas without calling it Christmas. Y'all, I'm serious. The Jewish people call Thanksgiving Turkey Day. They don't call Hanukkah Christmas, they call it Hanukkah. And they light their candles. You could call Christmas something else. Make up your own. I'm just having this talk because I know some people are in that, especially the Black Friday people that love to say, I don't do Black Friday. Okay. Okay. I guess you don't see that you're on your way to needing certain things. If you do inventory in your house, you can see that something's running out. You can see that something's getting old. So you're going to wait till after Black Friday and rush out there and get everything at the regular price because you don't do Black Friday. You're going to rush out there and get you some new underwear at regular price, as expensive as underwear is. You see that you're running out of underwear, but you're like, I'm cool, I can make it because I don't do Black Friday. I'll just wait. All right. Don't complain about your struggles. People that's not taking advantage of the opportunities that the Creator has given us to not stress about health, taking care of our health, those people are going to be stuck in a year. Stoic people, we don't have a problem with doing gift exchange. We don't have a problem with going to the food banks. We don't have a problem with trading. I feel like this Christmas is like a trade day. I give you this and you get this. The Native Americans were doing that. Well, just stop calling it Christmas and to call it a trade day. This is bartering and trade day. We all get together and we see what each other got and we trade. For example, you say, I'll give you this candle for your lavender cones. And we see if it's a good trade. Just call it trade day. You ain't got to put up no tree or whatever. Call it artistic trade day. We put our art out on display and we trade stuff. There it is. People still won't do it. They still won't do it. Because they act like some invisible person who said Christmas is the 25th. It's like, it's still watching them. It's still telling them, ha ha ha, you're doing Christmas. When it's not Christmas if I say it's not Christmas. Y'all, my videos be wild now and I'll be calling what it is. Like, I might call it Christmas, but why do you have to call it Christmas? Why don't you call it Trade Art Day? Trade Artistic Day. I do videos now to trigger people, to get people thinking. You know, a lot of people, they do videos on the trending things. I do videos sometimes talking about the opposite side. The people that is going with the trends. Like, maybe they need to question the reason why they're going with those trends. The toxic trends. Cut off everybody in your family. That's a trend. Get rid of your whole family. It's like, you're so perfect though, huh? Did they abuse you? Did they rob and steal from you? Did they block you from your inheritance? If they didn't do that, why are you cutting your family off? Oh, you don't like your cousins and your sister's personality. You don't like that sometimes they give you unsolicited criticism. So you need to cut them off. People are cutting people off for any reason now. It's like so wild how quick people do that. But really, the people you're supposed to cut off is the people you know have got in the way of your abundance. And you know those people who waste your time, waste your money, waste your energy, abuse you, disrespect you, lie on you, and block you. Those are the people you cut off. People can have any personality they want out here. People can, whatever. They can, oh, they acting like they better than me. So? Are they abusing you? Okay, why do you care? I have some family members who always look at me like, oh, I'm not doing as good as them. And long as they don't come for what I got, as long as they don't disrespect me, I don't care. But my one in-law, they decided to disrespect me, and that's when I cut them off. I didn't care if they thought if they were being snobby. Their snobbishness didn't bother me. It was when I sensed they were talking behind my back, when my intuition told me that, and then I caught half of the conversation. That's when I cut them off. I'd be still going to their house. I'd still be attending their parties. But no. Nope, they crossed the line. All they had to do was be a snob around me and leave my energy alone and don't disrespect me. But I guess being a snob wasn't enough for them. They had to cross the line. I got plenty of snobs in my family on both sides. Wealthy people on my mom's side, it's full-blown snobs. Y'all would be like, oh, they snob to the 10th degree. I still speak to them. How you doing? I don't hide from them or, whatever. When they came to my mom's funeral, I had a real snobby aunt that, has a lot of money and she got, rich, and my uncle was wealthy. So she inherited all his money. She has a wealthy husband too. So she's kind of real snobby, like you got to go to speak to her. She's not really that quick to speak to you, but I don't cut her off. Frankly, I mean, I see snobbiness as a little bit of a protection, to be honest. I would rather be a snob than on the other end with body dysmorphia and don't see no value in my life and myself. I mean, I know that it's like, wow, better off being a snob if then rather than self-destruct. I like that movie, The Substance. I want to do a whole review. I might write up a whole paper on that movie because that movie, The Substance, it shows how the world see people according to their age, even though it's not even how they see themselves. It just goes to show just how stereotypical the world is with age, beauty, image, assuming that people feel that way about themselves when they're actually programming them to feel that way. Like, it cracks me up when people say older women are insecure, and it's like, actually, no. Like, when we leave our homes, we're not insecure. Most of us aren't. People are trying to make us insecure. People will not stop projecting negative energy on us, slamming doors in our faces, being cold, being ignorant. So I feel like older women is being gaslighted. We're being gaslighted. We've been told that we're just insecure when really we're being abused by society. When we are in loving energy for ourselves, people won't let us stay in it and have peace in it. And this is like a more of a it's an American thing, because I know that like Northern American thing. When I go out of the North, it's like people can walk around with BBLs and be at peace. You know what I'm saying? If that's how they feel about themselves. But in the North, it's like real nitpicky. You love yourself, but it's like, no, people tell you. There tends to be a lot of criticism. But I think that movie, I love that movie, The Substance, because it just goes to show um, how your image affects the decision that you make and affects your life. You know, that one moment in which you let something warp and distort your mind can change your life forever. We don't take seriously moments. We underrate some moments. We don't think they're as strong as they are, but some are so strong that if you were to look back, you would say, yeah, that was that one moment I realized that, it changed my life. But you don't see it until after it's like done doing it. Like, for example, I started smoking CBD. Okay. Now, normally I only smoke CBD at bedtime or right before I'm going to write. But I decided to smoke it through my day, which I never do. And some sort of shift happened in my frequency where all of a sudden my creative energy is coming later and later and later in the day. And I'm sleeping earlier. And my brain power is hitting maximum peak strength later in the day, when it used to be like by 6 a.m. So that just goes to show that like every decision you make is like critical, like think it through, like imagine what that decision would do if you went along with it. Like dream work every decision before you do it. Like even before you buy clothes, like visualize what would you do in those clothes. Like, do a dream work of how will those clothes change your life, because they are going to affect some sort of transformation in your life. It doesn't matter what you buy. When I started buying more candles, I stopped using more light in my house. I started sitting alone more often, like a candle. I started being more spiritual. It shifted me to be more spiritual. So I'm just saying, everything you do in your life causes a little shift, sometimes a big shift, but most things cause a little shift and it goes really unnoticed. So if people are panicking about 2026, all they got to do is be more mindful of their decisions and say, this is going to cause some little shift. So what would the shift be? Like before you even spend your money, be like, what would the shift be? I know that if I buy these tennis shoes, some sort of shift is going to happen in my shoe life, shoe energy. A little bit of shift. The frequency of me with these shoes is going to change a little bit. So I need to like future see what it could possibly be. So for example, when I started buying more sneakers when I was working at Walmart, I stopped wearing my fancy shoes as often. Before I knew it, my fancy shoes weren't even touched for months. My enormous dress shoe collection was like it didn't even exist. I didn't even notice it till I was like, oh yeah, I got this event to go to. I need to buy me some dress shoes. And my family member was like, you have plenty of dress shoes. I was like, what? I didn't even remember that I had all these nice dress shoes, like Calvin Klein and stuff. But the point that I'm making is the mindful of decisions. That's all. when we think the economy is worse, what we're not doing is we're not changing ourselves to go with the economy. If you're still going on the scripts from like the 19, like the 1980s or 70s when they were the way they were, that's not going to work with this time period. This time period is more like the early 1900s time period where you thought people were rich because they always looked nice, but they really didn't have much. Where people were like, taking all day just to walk around the mall, and they were eating, they were all grown-ups eating like little kids. Like, a struggling society still has its major benefits. We're going to have a lot of skinny people in a couple of years. There's going to be bodybuilders, no longer bodybuilders. They're going to live longer. They're not going to have heart disease. People are going to have more space in their house. People are going to be creating more rather than eating. People are going to have no choice but to value their relationships because they can't spend money on Netflix and cable and all type of product. They can't afford it. I wonder why everybody always panic and say the prices are high, so we're struggling. This actually, our country actually provides. It's just you would have to humble yourself. Like nobody, like if you have clothes and shoes and a roof over your head, what else do you need? Like for real, can you afford food? Can you afford to eat 1,400 calories a day? Yes. Okay. What else? What more food do you need? Okay. Are you 6 foot tall? No. Then 1,500 calories to 1,700 is the max. You could be fine on that, even if you're 5'11". Like it's like I think that a lot of people are complaining for no reason, and I have actually experimented with this. I have like personally was like, okay, what if I just like stop everything I was doing over the past year with spending my money? What would happen? Like what would happen? Like not grabbing no takeout, not buying no new stuff, not loaning out no money, you know, not not just doing anything with my money. What would happen? I said, okay, well somehow I'm still keeping some extra little bit of money, like somehow, like people say it's hard being a stoic, but what's the problem with getting your government to pay for it? Let your government pay for it. They're hoarding your money anyway. They're hoarding your tax money. Let them pay for it. Spend a couple years, 3 years. Go get your dental done for free. Go get some free glasses. Like serious. There's nothing wrong with saying I'm gonna spend a couple years and just be like real humbled with my money and let this government take care of me until I get everything I need done. And then I'll start hardcore chasing money again. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Yeah, the Northeast is like I never seen such like toxic energy like in the Northeast. The Northeast America is like so determined to make, it's a lot of just like trying to make people randomly insecure. It's so, it's so fake. Like it doesn't even matter where you go in the Northeast. It's like a lot of people are very self-absorbed. They act like you owe them some special, out of this world type of an appearance just to get a hello, just so you don't get a door slammed in your face. It's like, wow. People will see you with one item in their hand and have a cart full of stuff and won't even say, go, you can go ahead. Unless you look like you got money to burn. It's just so superficial. It's such opportunist energy in the Northeast. It's narcissistic paradise. And I have been many places Northeast, and it's like, woo, wow. And don't be middle aged. Don't be a middle aged woman in the Northeast, because the people will be like, why don't you just die? That's how they treat you. You could be dressed to kill. Unless you got a caregiver with you and you middle age, it's like, you better be a famous middle aged woman. Or it's like, you'll notice that people act so irritated by you even though you ain't even done nothing. I used to wonder why my mother would say she's, she got to be, she's serious when she go out here. She says people always disrespecting her. I used to think like, really? Because I was young, And it's like, okay, this is what my mom was dealing with out here? Don't matter how pretty you are. If you even show any sign that you're a middle-aged woman, negativity just comes for you. I just want us to go back to when people were so just caught up in their own groups of people, just worried about enjoying their day rather than being negative. In the 90s, it was like we were just enjoying our day. Like, I don't remember anyone looking at our neighbor and be like, Auntie, I just don't remember anyone in my age group just talking about some 40-year-old woman for no reason. like, I don't know how that got started. Like, I don't know how we got to this point where it's like normalized to just be hating on random people and then parading around like it's not happening. And it's happening because you notice how everything is so groupized in your community. Like there's secret groups and it's like you're not included. And you're like, okay, what did I do? All I was an older woman, a middle-aged woman. Okay, so I say, like, when you see baby boomers getting treated good, they're only getting treated good because I see some young people are like, they want benefits from the baby boomers. But it's like, if you're in the middle, like Generation X, it's like, you don't got what the baby boomers got, so we can just abuse you. And it's like, this is exactly why I want out of the Northeast. It's too opportunist. And anybody staying in that energy the next year, watch what happens. Mark my words. Anybody that's like all just about chasing things and stuff and just trying to use people and all that for the next year, watch what happens. They're going to wish that they didn't do that, because people are going to be some cold cutting. People already started cold cutting. It's going to be cut over the next year. A lot of y'all ain't going to be, I say over the next 6 months, a lot of y'all going to find y'all working somewhere different. Y'all ain't even on the apps that y'all used to be on. It might even, for some of y'all, it might be in about 3 months, you're going to notice the major shifting happen in your life. Y'all going to be like, woo, boundaries during the cutting. And people are going to be like, oh, I wish I didn't use you. I wish I didn't come back and try the same old tricks. People think they can try the same old tricks and they're going to get played, because people are having ascension over the next year. Ascension, 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 ascension. We're in another cycle year of ascension energy. And people are going to be like, oh, how did you figure me out? Well, ascension. That ascension, people, the new year is not the new year. The new year is not what people are thinking it is. But as I said, y'all, I have this resource that I've been telling y'all about this for sale. So it's for an affordable fee. It's a book. If you email me and y'all buy it, y'all gonna find out what I'm talking about. Okay, y'all gonna find out. Over the next year, it's supposed to be like, you know, your relationship with God and your purpose, your inner power, your inner being focused. And I wanna make sure a lot of y'all get my book, part one, especially before um, the next, the next retrograde hit us. I think there'll be retrograde sometime in Pisces. You know, all kind of wild things happen on retrogrades. Not always good, like losing things, dropping things shutting down, technology problems, people messy. So, yeah. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. If y'all want to donate to the channel, y'all can donate to my Cash App at money sign Coach V Hunter. Thank you very much for all donations. You can also donate at my PayPal, which I will post again in the community news. If y'all would like to buy my book, that will help you to understand discovering your life purpose and some other spiritual things, it's some spiritual lessons in the book. Part one. It's available for sale. If you email me, I will tell you how to buy it or whatever. I'm not marketing it yet publicly because I don't want any attacks. People like to watch and get jealous and attack. But also, when your stuff gets released and you market it too soon, people will actually copy it and then try to say you copied them when they copied you. So I'm really trying to let the book be sold for a while through a VIP list before I actually make it so public. Okay, bye everybody. I'll see y'all later. Have a good day.